Hey everybody. So for those of you who don't know what's going on, this month's concept and layer towards our transformational journey is identity. This was inspired by the first chapter of my spoken word book and a peek into just a little bit of the content in my upcoming novel. So let's talk about it, right? So today I want to talk about how you identify with your reality, right? What's the best way to see the mirror of who you are? And it's in your surroundings. And we're not talking about being influenced by your surroundings this time, which conditions how you identify. But we're talking about how you influence your surroundings. So the example I'm going to give is algorithms. I know you all know that language, right? So when you're dealing with social media and the internet in general, I personally appreciate the digital world because it makes it easier to have these conversations, because artificial intelligence is a mimic of intelligence, right? And the majority of the internet, the way I can see it, I see it's a mimic of spiritual technology and intelligence. So in this way, you know how you're online, and based on the things you like, based on the things you search, based on the pages you comment on, it creates your algorithm. Based on things you post is how things draw to you. And that basis, you can be following 5,000 people and only see 10 people's posts every day. Why? Your algorithm. Based on the things that you have liked or shown that you're into, it says, okay, these are pages that you would like. This is content that you would like. So we're just going to give you this, right? So it's the same thing when you walk outside every day. The people who just think of you and call your phone. The experiences you randomly have throughout the day. The random alignments that you have. The phone calls and opportunities that you get. The lack thereof. It's all a representation of your natural algorithm. How does this work? Like, we're not pushing buttons and liking stuff when you go outside. Well, are you though? So the way the human body is designed, we could even go back to even ancient Kemet, right? They talk about having a Merkaba. What is that? Merkaba. Mer is light. Ka is the spirit. Ba is the body. And that creates your force field, your magnetic field, and your flowing life force energy that gives off vibration, right? So it doesn't matter what culture you go down. Once you get into the science of life and the science of the body, you see that you have systems that give off vibration. Your being gives off vibration. And what does that mean? That means it waves out. You're waving at a frequency at all times. Every cell in your body is waving at a frequency to give the illusion of being a solid thing. Nothing is solid. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency to appear a certain way for the reality. So what does that mean? That means that your magnetic field is creating your reality based on your thoughts. Every thought that you have gives out a brainwave. It operates at a frequency. And waves don't just stay inside. It's like the ocean. It don't stay in a confined place. Like, you have to literally brick it in and it'll still go over. It'll wave until the bricks fall. You know? Like, you're dealing with phones and you get a signal. That's a wave coming in. Birds die by phone towers because of the waves of radiation. So every thought you have, even your heartbeat, the rhythm that your heartbeat does, it gives out a wave of energy. So everything that you think, the emotions that you have, the frequency that your heartbeat goes on because of your emotions and your thought patterns, it lives in a certain tune. And that tune, whatever you're tuned into, is a reality. For example, some people will never know the reality of living in a palace. Some people will never know the reality of living in a projects. There's somebody out in the world who a tiger made their way in their backyard, so they named it. There's somebody who started to see the difference in the roaches that come into their kitchen, and they named them. And both of these people are happy. The type of conversations that these two people would have are completely different. And they can only exist in each other's reality by being in the same frequency. Because once you start to change frequency, you start to experience different things that live in on that frequency. And that goes with anything and anybody. And can you alter your frequency? Yes. People drop frequency and people go up higher. It's all energy. So I say all this to say is you identify with things according to your frequency. Your frequency can be conditioned and altered based on your experiences, your traumas, your fears, your environment that you grew up in. It takes a lot of introspection and reflection and knowledge to even know that frequencies exist, that you can alter them, and that changes your perspective and therefore allows different energy to flow, allow you to surf different channels for you to have different experiences, to feel different. And the best way to notice where you're at is to look around you. What do the people in your life look like? What do they talk about? Who calls your phone? Who's in your text messages? What are they talking about? Because that's the frequency you're on. That's what gets close to you. That's what your energy calls in. That is your mirror. Those are your algorithms. Your natural algorithms will give you your truth and will show you your identity. Because it's what you identify with, which is the only reason it gets close to you. There's too many realities in this world. In one city, you can go down one street and it's a whole different culture than the street you just left. And their conversation, their mentality, their outlook on life is completely different. When you go from an island to this island, the frequencies are different. Somewhere where it's more nature than concrete, the frequencies are different. So my exercise for you is to just observe. Be the observer. Being the observer is very fulfilling. It's very heightening if you just shut up and pay attention. Because if you shut up and pay attention, you'll be able to see what's around you. You'll hear it. You'll be able to process it and see your algorithms. And then start to actively change them. Just like on social media. When I don't want certain algorithms, I stop liking stuff. I unfollow different things. I purposely like a bunch of certain things because I'm like, this is what I want my algorithms to be. So I don't have the same algorithm as the person sitting right next to me. Like I was talking to somebody the other day and they was like, man, social media is so fucking negative and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you gotta change your algorithm. You're liking the wrong stuff. Like, because my social media is not negative. When I get on social media, it's people teaching stuff. It's healing information, or people just trying to say something that'll uplift you, make you heal in life, or something funny. List those three things. Or something to do with black love. You know? I want to see love on my timeline. You know? I want to see the black man and woman together. I want to see communities build. So those are the things that I see on my timeline every day. So I can go in there and I can get a little refreshing of energy and laugh real quick and then keep it pushing. Like some of it so my timeline stays the same. You know? So you have to think in the same way. Even if it does take for you to be verbal about it. If it does take you to write things down that you like in life. You know? To say the I ams. Do your rituals. That's a ritual. When you write things down, that's a ritual. And it's more powerful than typing it. Do it. Create your algorithm. The universe is so infinite, so abundant, so connective, so kinetic. You can literally maneuver anything. That's the alchemist. The alchemist is the observer that understands how to make things move. The master of their energy. But it starts with your thought process. And with your thought process, you'll see your algorithms. You'll see what you're working with. You'll see what you're moving and manifesting. So that's it for today, you guys. What do you identify with? How does your identity look by you just looking around? Pay attention, because the next videos, we're going to get very introspective, very reflective. I'm going to use myself as an example. All right? This is life outspoken. All right? So layers in real life outspoken. So do that for yourself. Pull back those layers in real life. Peace and love. We'll talk again soon.